Good morning, students. Hello, welcome to class 7th, Social Science. I hope, students, you all are safe, fit, and healthy at home. Students, today I am going to discuss with Geography, Lesson 2nd. Topic is Inside the Earth, Worksheet 6, and this is my video lecture 2nd. It is the continuation of my video lecture part 1 and I have already started this chapter. In my previous lecture, I have discussed with you about the changes of the earth happenings and the layers of crust, mantle, core and the materials on the earth crust, that is the rocks and the material. Now, in today's lecture, I am going to discuss with you about the classification of rocks, how they are formed in different ways, their different characters, their composition, colors, sizes and texture. And these rocks, how did their originality happen with appearance? So the three classification of rocks are igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic. The first is the igneous rocks. The word igneous is the meaning of fire. Igneous rocks are formed when molten magma cools and solidifies. Fine. These rocks were the first to be formed and they are called the primary rocks. They are also called the parent rocks because from these all the other rocks are formed and they comprise 85% of the lithosphere. Fine, student? Now these rocks have two types of classification, that is the intrusive igneous and the extrusive igneous rocks. The intrusive igneous rocks are formed when the molten magma fails to break through the crust and it slowly solidifies under the earth's surface. The best example of it is granite. These are also said to be the plutonic rocks. And the extrusive igneous rocks, these rocks are formed when the molten magma comes out on the earth's surface as lava and they cools quickly. These rocks are also called the volcanic rocks and the best example is the basalt. They are very hard and compact and these rocks have a crystalline structure and they do not contain the remains of plants and animals, which we also said them the fossil. Fine? In them. Next come the sedimentary rocks. They are the second group of rocks. Now the sedimentary rocks are formed from the sediments and the word sediments means settling down. Now how they are formed? From the existing rocks. The natural forces like glaciers, wind, plants and animal break rocks into fragments. Now these fragments are then carried away by running water, moving ice or wind and are deposited in depressions usually under water. After a long period of time, these deposited materials or sediments, they accumulate in layers, get compressed and hardened, forming the sedimentary rocks. The mechanically formed sedimentary rocks are the sandstone or mudstone or shale, and the chemically formed sedimentary rocks are the process of rock salt or gypsum. These rocks of sediments, they are softer than igneous rocks and they do contain remains of dead plants and animals, which are also called fossils. You must have heard. Weathering is also the biggest example of the sedimentary rocks because it has erosions and deposition. Fine, student? Then comes the metamorphic rocks. Now the metamorphic means change of formation. These rocks are formed when igneous and sedimentary rocks change both chemically and physically due to excessive heat and pressure. Now these rocks are further metamorphosed into, like granite is metamorphosed into gneiss, and shell into schist, and coal into graphite. Graphite we do use, that is pencil, for writing, shading, marking from our childhood to the office time, in our old age also. Fine. Now, after studying the classification of rocks, let's understand the rock cycle. How does this take place? The igneous into sedimentary, then sedimentary into metamorphic. Yes? You must have studied about rock cycle, weathering, erosion in your previous class in class 4th, 5th in a shorter form. Let's understand this. That how does this changes take place due to the three main rocks, that is the sedimentary, metamorphic and igneous rocks. Now molten rocks or magma cools down and solidifies to form igneous rock. The process of weathering and erosion on the surface of the earth break down the pre-existing rocks into sediments. Fine. Now the broken sediments accumulate in layers and compress over years to form the sedimentary rocks. Now forces change this igneous and sedimentary by nature to form the metamorphic rock deep into the crust. Now under great heat and pressure, the metamorphic rocks melt down to form the molten magma. And the molten magma again cools down and solidifies into igneous rocks. And this natural way rock constantly change and the recycle happens due to their physical structure, mineral composition. Fine. Minerals like coal are the source of power, which we know. Salt is also a mineral that we consume in everyday life. So today, student, I have discussed with you the three types of rocks, that is the igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic, and how the rock cycle transfer one rock to form the other. Fine, student, I have completed my chapter, lesson 2. I hope you will work out your worksheet in your copy neatly. Take care, be safe at home with your parents, brothers and sisters. Thank you, students.